Most speakers think that a great keynote should create more bookings. That belief, it used to work. But today, it quietly fails most speakers because great keynotes don't automatically create more speaking opportunities. What happens after the talk does? If you're a speaker who consistently delivers strong keynotes, gets great audience feedback, and still walks away without new bookings or follow up conversations, this is for you. You know your message lands. People tell you it resonated, and yet nothing seems to happen afterwards. That gap between praise and opportunity is where most experienced speakers, they quietly get stuck. By the end of this video, you'll understand why a keynote can succeed in the room, but fail to create the future work and what actually needs to change for that impact to actually continue. If this stays unaddressed, you'll keep repeating that same old cycle of great talks, emotional validation, and then you're getting silence afterward. A strong keynote can absolutely land with the audience, but it still lead nowhere afterward. Most speakers assume that the impact that's made in the room is automatically going to carry forward. That assumption is where the breakdown begins to start because when a talk resonates, people are feeling energized in that moment, but that energy has a very short lifespan. Once that event is ended, attention is going to shift back to the daily work, new priorities, and the next thing on their calendar. And some speakers assume that if the message was strong enough, then people will remember to follow up later. But that's rarely what happens in practice. Even people who genuinely like your talk are often not going to take action once that moment passes up. An objection here is that great speakers should naturally stand out, but standing out is not going to equal staying connected. Without a clear next step, that interest is going to fade quietly. The result is just applause, but no momentum. See, a keynote, it opens the door, but it doesn't move anyone through it on its own. To consistently get more bookings, it's going to require you having intention beyond the stage. That's going to lead directly to the deeper issue that most speakers are actually overlooking. See, many speakers are still operating under that old, outdated assumption about how opportunities are created. That model is relying heavily on being remembered later. In today's environment, that is a very flawed approach. Event planners are busy, they're moving quickly from one responsibility to the next, and then the audience, they may feel inspired, but they have no reason or no reminder to actually act after the event. See, speakers often tell themselves that follow-up, it feels awkward or salesy, so they avoid it completely. But the counter argument is that great work should speak for itself, but silence does not mean disinterest. It usually means that there was just no system in place to continue that conversation. So they're hoping that someone is going to reach out later. That's not a strategy. It's leaving everything up to chance, and chance, it rarely produces the results that you desire. See, the issue isn't your ability or your message. It's relying on a model to get business that is no longer supporting you getting a consistent outcome. See, once you see that clearly, then the solution becomes so much more simpler. The speakers who get referrals, repeat bookings, and inbound inquiries, they think different about the end of their keynote, not just the keynote itself. They treat it as the beginning of the process as opposed to the end. And and that one shift right there is what changes everything because instead of leaving that connection to the memory of people, they create clear ways to capture that interest while the people are most engaged. They offer a simple exchange of information without any pressure. They make it easy for the right people to continue a conversation with them. And some worry, though, that this is going to feel aggressive or salesy, but clarity is not the same thing as selling. And when the next step is obvious for people, they are going to feel relieved. They're not going to feel like they were pushed into it. So without that structure, even the strongest interest is not going to go nowhere. Outcomes do not come from just delivering more or better on stage. They come from having a proven strategy to create more speaking opportunities immediately after your talk has ended. That one adjustment right there can turn isolated keynotes into long-term revenue generators. So if your talks are landed, if the feedback is good, it's strong, people love it, and they're telling you how impactful your keynote was, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your talk. But if you're not seeing more opportunities afterwards, that means there's a piece missing, a way to capture interest, continue conversations, and follow up intentionally after every single speaking gig. Until that's in place, even the best keynote will keep ending the same way with great feedback, but then going silent. Think about your last 3 speaking engagements, right? Did any one of did anyone have a clear way to, continue that conversation with you after it was over? If the answer to that question is no, then please drop a line below. Send me a private DM so we can talk because I'll help you to identify where the breakdown is happening and what you need to fix first. I look forward to talking to you. Thank you.